Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Four Lads Rangers Breaking News podcast. Thelo Aasgaard has officially signed and been announced by the football club. It has been rumoured for a few days. Andrew, we were on live at 3 o'clock and we could not say a thing. We knew we would be back. He is here. He's been announced. Quite a cool announcement video, actually, with the Thor hammer, etc. Andrew, but what do you make of this?
Yeah, I'm very excited by it. He's been a promising signing. He's sounded good. He's got a fantastic name, obviously. Yeah, all very good.
Yeah, it certainly is. As I said, it's one that we have known about. The fee is believed to be undisclosed, but it is in the region of 3.5 million with add-ons, etc. I think Luton are promoting it as slightly higher. We originally had it as around about £5 million, so it's anywhere between that, and you can make up your mind from there. But let's read what the club have said. Rangers Football Club are today delighted to announce the signing of Thelo Aasgaard from Luton Town on a 4-year deal. The highly rated attacking midfielder, 23, is a Norwegian international and becomes the fifth arrival of the summer transfer window after Lyle Cameron, Max Aarons, Joe Rothwell and Emmanuel Fernandez. A product of both Liverpool and Wigan Athletics youth system, Asgard made his senior debut for the Latics as a teenager in 2020, netting his first goal for the club less than a month later, featuring 35 times in all competitions in a campaign where he signed his first professional contract. Born in England and of Norwegian descent through his father and French descent through his mother, international recognition duly followed in a Wigan jersey as a midfielder, representing Norway at under 16, under 20 and under 21 level. His importance to the Latics rose in years to follow, making 163 appearances and scoring 30 times in an outstanding 5-year spell in Lancashire. His impressive performances from Wigan caught the attention of Luton Town in January this year, and the midfielder moved on to the Hatters for the second half of that campaign. From there, Asgard was rewarded with his senior Norway debut in March earlier this year, providing a goal and an assist in a 5-0 victory over Moldova. Speaking after arriving at Rangers, Asgard has said, "I'm delighted to be here. I have been waiting for it, but I'm glad to get it over the line. When I heard about Rangers, I was over the moon. I have played against the manager's teams a few times and have always pictured myself in his team. And to be here now is really, really good. It was an easy decision. I love the number of games here. It's like the EFL, and I love playing. The stature and history is enough as well." Head coach Russell Martin added, "We are delighted to bring Thelo to the club. He's a player that we have all liked for a long time, and we believe he possesses the necessary qualities to thrive at the club in this team. He wants to win and develop as a player, and I believe we can help him do both. His attributes will enhance the group and look forward to him getting to know his teammates on and off the pitch." Sporting director Kevin Thelwell continued, "Thelo is a player who has been on the radar of several clubs around Europe. He is a player capable of making the difference in the final third of the pitch and strengthens an area of the squad that we feel is important. We believe he will be a fantastic addition to the side and important asset in the years to come." Andrew, Joe Rothwell and now Thelo Aasgaard, two central midfielders in the space of this week. It's certainly an area that we needed. I would have thought a number 6, which was as interesting, but these are two kind of attacking players. We'll go into Asgard's stats just in a wee bit, but positive moves to the club.
Yeah, he's an attacking midfielder. He can also play out on the left wing as well, which he's done a little bit. But yeah, again, just adds more options into there. That's what we spoke about earlier on the members only stream, that we want more options for the team. You need to have different types of players for different roles, but you want to have options in there as well. And he adds to that midfield, which already looks pretty good. Yeah. Again, I like the look of him. He's not a small player either, so that's good. Again, we talked about the physicality that we have in this league, and yeah, I think he's going to add some of that, which would be nice.
I asked that question, James. Do you think he'll play tomorrow? I asked the question when we were told the news earlier on, and we were told that yes, he could be involved. There'll be a number of new players involved tomorrow. At very least, he'll get to meet the crowd and he'll be out on the pitch saying hello, etc. So that is your answer. That was one of the things I did ask. 4-year contract, Andrew. It's a lot of money £3.5 million has been the initial kind of outlay. That's a fierce kind of, when you think about Fernandes' deal being £3 million in kind of various stages, Rothwell they've spent a bit of money on as well, although that remains undisclosed. I'm led to believe there's a good few £1 million being spent there. We had to wait, but there's certainly a sign of intent now, and you can just like they were saying earlier on the members kind of pod, that you can actually see a spine of a team beginning to develop. And when you think about Nasser Gia arriving on loan from Wolves potentially at the start of the week, that's one that Sky are reporting is very close, one that we talked about as well. This spine of that squad is slowly but surely coming together now.
Yeah, and as we said earlier, I think the only things that we're really missing now are wingers and strikers. We've got, and in theory, Asgard can actually play out the wing, so technically we've got one of those sort of ticked off. But I think he will probably be more in midfield. We are absolutely starting to see that. Goalkeeper, as we discussed earlier, is potentially a concern because we've not been linked with anyone there. But with how quickly we've had these announcements and how quickly some of these links and then players have developed, it wouldn't be unreasonable to think that a goalkeeper announcement or a striker announcement even can come quite quickly for us. So it's all very exciting. If you said at the start of the week that Rangers would have signed, what is that now officially, 5 players? Then that's fantastic news for the course of a week. Really good.
Yeah, and as I said earlier on, I'm kind of quietly relieved because I was giving it the biggin, saying I was all relaxed and things will happen and we've all just got to be patient and take your time. And then as soon as I was going off our air, I was like, right, come on, we need signs. What's going on? But this is really positive if you think about centre halves and centre midfield coming in. It is all starting to come together, which I really like. Talk a wee bit now about stat wise about Thelo. He started all 17 games for Luton after moving there. 2 goals, 1 assist, 1 yellow. Andrew, he was never subbed. He played every minute he was available for. And the total games missed since injury in 2025 and 24-25 was 0. He's been in 4 Norway squads, unused sub 3 times, started 1 goal, 1 assist, as we talked about in Moldova for the club's comments. But he is over 6 foot. I believe he's 6'2". Rothwell's 6'1". This was a kind of stature. Now, they're not physical players. I think that's fair to say when you think about we're building a team like that. And I seen it earlier on being mentioned. These aren't guys that are physical, but technically they have that stature and they're good on the ball. It's clear to see what we're trying to do because when you think about Rothwell talked about how he likes to dribble and affect the game in the final third. Thelo Aasgaard clearly does that. I think he had a number of 14 goals or something before he moved to Luton in January. So he likes to play that way. He likes to get in the final third. And we know that Russell Martin likes his teams to dominate the final thirds in games and really pressure teams in. So it's quite apparent what we're trying to do.
Yeah, the kind of, I think his Wigan career is obviously where he's had his foundation. 163 appearances, 30 goals and 11 assists. But he's a player who's absolutely got potential. He's got that physicality that I want to see. His injury history, which obviously I have to go and check for every one of our players now because I get paranoid about that kind of thing. Out for 20 days, 4 games missed with a shoulder injury back in 2023. So very relieved about that. And yeah, again, if we can see him tomorrow, that'll be excellent. We were looking at the start of the week and getting really worried about what that squad was going to look like, but it's starting to shape up quite nicely now.
Yeah, and it is. Look, I mean, I'm excited about it. Signings, friendlies are starting, the football's starting again. I said earlier on the pod for the members that I'm excited about Russell Martin. I watched his interview last night, and look, I'm not going to say he's winning me over because that's not fair because I want him to do well. He's Rangers manager. He's here now, but I really like the way he speaks, the way he spoke about attracting people towards the club. Andrew, we're repeating ourselves a wee bit for the people that would have watched this on the members video, but those statements are very positive. Thelo Aasgaard wanted to come to Rangers straight away. He was somebody that we targeted, no messing about. The deal was done quite quickly, and he's trained this morning already with his teammates and ready to go tomorrow. And we'll just need to wait and see if he plays or not.
I mean, I would hope so. You know, we've talked about it plenty at the start of the week that we are going to be in competitive games sooner rather than later, unfortunately. So it'd be fantastic to see him tomorrow, even just a feature, potentially gets a half or something like that. But it'd be really good to see that happening. Again, this is all you're building the plane as you're trying to fly it at this point. Russell Martin's got a hell of a job in his hands, but I think, are starting to see a structure here. We've got like wings on the plane now. We might not have a propeller yet, but we are starting to get there in terms of building out this structure and making something happening. I think the big question is going to be what's happening with striking position, because that's been talked about earlier on and has seemed to go a bit quiet now in terms of the outgoings, but we just don't know. News has been happening kind of quickly, kind of quietly. So hopefully we'll see something happening.
Well, it was the same with Rothwell. Rothwell was 24 hours before he was mentioned. 24 hours later, he'd signed. Asgard's been a couple of days. I believe the only delay in announcing Thelo Aasgaard is what happened towards the end of last week. Rangers are aware of things that were going on, and obviously the terrible news with Jota and Liverpool, etc. That I think everybody kind of held back things. So I'm not using that as an excuse. I just think it's natural that that's happened. He done his medical a couple of days ago in Manchester. He's been here, trained this morning. It's been done. So Rangers have chosen to announce that. We'll go back to his stats a wee minute. 26 appearances, 8 goals, 1 assist, 2,260 minutes played, 251 minutes per goal. Contribution is passing accuracy is really key. 84%, and progressive passes, just under 3 of them per game. Likes a shot a goal, 2 and a bit shots per game, etc. 2.87 dribbles. That's courtesy of Kai Watson on Twitter, because he's very good with his stats and stuff like that and doing his radars and things. You know me, Andrew, I'm not the best at reading these things, but it all seems fairly positive. I think he's going to fit in as a guy who will be like an 8, like a box-to-box, somebody that's going to be a threat, somebody that will pitch in front of goal, somebody that will be able to work and work hard and track back. He's not the most physical, as in aggressive and things like that. He's a technical player, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how he's going to fit in. And I think that when you talk about, and it was really interesting because you see Russell Martin on the podcast talking about the goal that won the playoff final, and he was talking about how they worked on those moves from the midfielders and how much, I think he was talking about Flynn Downs at the time, and he was involved in it, and how much he moved, and that's really key once they figure out where to move in the triangle and all that sort of stuff. So that's where I see him playing, as a kind of forward attacking midfielder role, even possibly the 8 to 10 position, but I would expect him to be box to box. Same as Rothwell. Rothwell might sit a wee bit deeper like he did at Leeds. He talked about playing the passes, but that's how I kind of see. I see Raskin as well as being box to box. But what it does now, Andrew, all of a sudden you've got Rothwell, you've got Asgard, you've got Raskin, you've got Diamandi, Connor Barron's in there, Bailey Rice is in there. All of a sudden that midfielder is starting to look pretty strong with lots of competition.
Definitely. We spoke plenty last season that the only kind of functional bit of the team looked like Diamande and Raskin. And even at that was a little inconsistent. So having more options in there is fantastic for us. This is a player who's got experience and he's put up good numbers as well, which is really good for us to see. So, yeah, I'm excited for him. I think he's going to be an interesting player. I think he represents something that's going to be good. He's another 23-year-old, which I'm pretty sure is now a requirement for all of our players. They're all 23 now, which is going to be really surreal. But it's really good to see. And again, I know I've spoken about this and I've been scolded gently by people in the comments as well. But 23 does mean that you have room to grow. You've got potential there. It's not you've reached 23 and you're already done. I've played Football Manager, believe me. There's still plenty of juice that you can get out of players after 23. And especially for players who are midfielders, defenders, there's plenty of mileage left there. There's still room to develop and grow and get even better than they are.
Yeah, Malarkey's totally right. Even Lyle Cameron, we shouldn't forget about him. You're right. Well, I'm talking more about central midfielders, so my apology, but he probably comes into that. It's going to be interesting to see where he fits in. Would he fit in as a 10? Would he be further forward? We'll see him tomorrow. He's been obviously back in training. He's one I am excited about. The numbers are right. I think, was it 14 goals last season? I don't have those stats to hand. Obviously, he scored the goals towards the end of the season for Dundee, which helped them a great finish at McDermott Park, if I remember rightly. He is somebody I'm looking forward to seeing and how he's going to pitch in, what kind of role he's going to have here at the club. So definitely a good point on that, Andrew. But I just suppose it kind of highlights how strong we are in there. I think everybody now is wondering who's next. It looks like Nasser and Gia from Wolves will be there and thereabouts, highly talked about. The club are said to still be interested in Connor Cody, where that's been long running now. So we're waiting on updates. He played today for Leicester, which is interesting. That's maybe an indication of where we are. We'll get a chance to speak to Russell Martin tomorrow. So I'm sure that all these things will be asked. We'll also ask him as well, I'm sure, in the press conference about the futures of Hamza Igaman and Cyril Dessers, because they've been heavily linked with a move away. So yeah, there's plenty to look forward to tomorrow, as well as seeing the new guys. We'll speak to the manager, which is always good. As we said on the previous shows, that we will be down at St George's this week on the press day on Thursday. We travelled down, myself and David Egger, from Heart and Hand, so we'll be covering it on the Friday. We'll get access to speak to various people at the club, players and the manager, and we'll get to watch a training session. So we're looking forward to covering that, Andrew. But it's all, look, we talked about it for long enough on this podcast, didn't we, about finally getting players in the door. And there was a long time, we had to say wait and hopefully things will happen. But it's starting to happen now, and I'm really positive about the guys that they've brought in. They seem to have the right thing about them, but we'll find out soon if they are. But it's exciting for the support just to see us being linked with players. And we're still, Andrew, I still think we've got to get to the tickly bit. Who's the really exciting wingers that's going to come in and score us the goals? Who's the striker that's going to score us the goals? These are still areas that we'll need to look at, no matter what we're doing at the moment, which is great. If Ngia does come in, like it's been talked about at the start of next week, you've got two centre halves, you've got two strong midfielders, you've got a fullback, you've got Lyle Cameron there as an attacking kind of midfielder. So there's still a lot more excitement to come, I think.
Yeah, striker's the big one for me. I think, we've talked so much about Dessers and Igaman, and it's the outgoings that haven't been happening so far. So I suspect we're in the position where we're waiting for movement on that to take place in terms of them going out before anyone comes in. But those are your big money deals, so those will naturally be the much more exciting players. The Turgeman talk won't go away. We'd hope that that's close to being done, and it may just be waiting on transfers out before it can take place. But I think we are certainly end of this week rather than the start of it, looking much stronger than we were. So yeah, it's been really good to see. Really good. Thanks, Rangers. I was saying on Monday's pods, please give us something to talk about, and they've delivered. So all good.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to our new members that are shown on the screen. Barry Moore, really appreciate that. Craig Buchanan as well. Thanks for joining. We really appreciate the support. You can sign up to YouTube membership for as little as 99p and get some extra shows and stuff like that. So yeah, Rangers are doing business. We're really pleased about that. We will be back tomorrow at the game to decipher and report from the Club Brews friendly. We'll also let you know what happened with Russell Martin and the press conferences after, but we're looking forward to it. Andrew, you're travelling up for it. Are you looking forward to it?
Certainly much more now than at the start of the week when I was booking it up. I thought I was going to see one new player, and then apart from that, it was going to be the squad from last year with less players then. So, yeah, it's always good to go up and see Rangers. It's rare that I do manage to get up there. So just coming up to see Ibrox is always nice for me. But But it's always going to be nicer if I can take in a good game and maybe even a win for a change, because that's not happened the last time I've come up. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully meet up with some of you guys as well in person.
Yeah, absolutely. Always nice to meet people when they stop and say hello. So if you see us, please do. Really looking forward to it tomorrow. New signings just add to it. Just to recap, Rangers have announced the signing of Thelo Aasgaard from Luton Town, and undisclosed fee on a 4-year contract. A fee believed to be in the region of 3.5 million plus add-ons. When you speak to Luton and go down south, they're saying it's a lot higher, but I believe it's in the region of that. I spoke about it being 5 million earlier in the week. I wouldn't be surprised if a deal ends up somewhere along the line, but it looks like Rangers are ready to go into the market again. They've been heavily linked with Nasser Njia from Wolves on loan. Big centre back, plays for Burkina Faso. He's had 8 caps, 1 goal. 6'4", another big lad. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to see what happens in the coming days. Look forward to it. And you never know with Rangers. They did do 2 in one day the other day. I'm not expecting, but you just never know, because ultimately the way they've done their business, I think, has been fantastic. So thank you, everybody, for jumping in and joining us on this breaking news. Really, really appreciate that. Thanks as well to Richard Taylor, who's become a YouTube member as well. That's 2 or 3 that have came on. So we really, really appreciate that, and we really appreciate all your support. We're really looking forward to tomorrow at Ibrox. We hope to see a lot of you there. Looking forward to the podcast on Monday night as well, as usual. So thank you for everybody popping on for the Breaking News pod. Andrew, thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it.
No worries. It's been a fun day. Little members only stream earlier today, and then hanging around and doing this little breaking news one as well. It's been very productive. So yeah, enjoyed it.
Yeah, thoroughly enjoy speaking to everybody. Nearly 4,000 people watching across all platforms. We really appreciate your support. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please do. That really helps us grow. If you want to join and see some extra pods and interviews and stuff like that, they are available if you want to become a YouTube member. We really appreciate the 400 or 500 people that already have, and the people that have signed up today. So thank you to that. Well done, Rangers. That's quite a nice wee afternoon news on this Saturday. I hope that everybody has had a magnificent Saturday and has a brilliant night. Hopefully see a lot of you tomorrow at Ibrox Stadium. Good luck to the team tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing Russell Martin. Let's hope for some positivity and some good performances in amongst it. So everybody take care. Have a great Saturday night. Thelo Aasgaard has signed for Rangers, signed in number 5. Not long for number 6 maybe. Speak to you all again soon.
The Four Lads podcast is sponsored by Rhino Express, Clydeview Joinery, Athol Industrial Solutions Limited, and CSD Air Conditioning, in partnership with Black Rooster and Art of Gold. Thank you for listening to or watching the podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show.